Good afternoon, watch enthusiasts. This is OJ Whatley coming to you live from What You Want. Today we're going to be talking about an amazing and very special Panerai watch, the PAM 203. But before we begin, just wanted to remind you, if you like our videos, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What You Want Inc., so you can receive updates of our most recently created and posted videos. As well, this watch and our entire inventory of watches can be viewed on our website by going to www.whatyouwant.com. So I'm here today with a very special, an unbelievably rare, an absolute grail Panerai watch. The Luminor Panerai 1950 PAM 203. The 8 days or 8 journey Luminor Panerai. So a lot of people have asked, what makes the PAM 203 so special? Why is it one of those grail watches, and why the heck aren't there more of them out there? In fact, there's probably 1 to 2 available in the marketplace at any given time, if that many, and sometimes there's none. And in fact, this watch was only made in 150 pieces. So the first thing that makes this watch special is that it was the first Panerai, what we call subscription watch, which is to say that if you wanted this watch when it was released and it was only produced in 150 pieces, you literally had to apply to buy this watch with your authorized dealer or directly with Panerai. And then based on your buying history, based on your commitment to the brand and how many watches were in your collection, Panerai would evaluate whether you were worthy or not to own this watch. Now, the amazing thing about this watch is if they did approve you to purchase this watch cost about $20,000 when it was released. That was about 5 years ago, and it was actually released, it was closer to 8 years ago, and it was released over a 3-year period. So although there was only 150 pieces made, it was released only over a 3-year period. And this particular watch was made for the H series, which was about 2007. 2008. But again, it was trickled out, and in order to get this watch for your customer as a dealer, you had to make a very strong story as to why your customer was worthy to purchase this watch. So this was literally one of these watches that was a reward that dealers were able to give to their top Panerai customers who had amassed collections of 3, 5, 10 Panerai watches and had bought all those watches not from the secondary market, but from the primary market. There were a lot of notable celebrities who received this watch. And the interesting about this watch is, as much as there was 150 pieces released, since its release, I don't think there have been more than probably 10 of them available in the public market over that period of time. That's predominantly because when Panerai released this watch, or when Panerai agreed to sell you this watch, it was with the implicit understanding that you would not resell this watch under fear of penalty of never being able to buy another special watch from Panerai again. Literally, Panerai authorized dealers and Panerai corporate put the fear of God into the worthy people who were able to purchase this watch and told them if they ever found out that they were selling this watch in the open market, if they ever saw this watch available with the serial number and the reference number and were able to track it down to them, there would be severe consequences paramount to them not being able to get any more special edition Panerai watches. So as such, and due to its rarity, this watch originally sold for over $125,000 at auction with Antiquorum at a special auction where the proceeds went to one of their charities. That was at its initial release in 2007. Again, Antiquorum hosted a special auction through Panerai where Panerai actually donated this watch to them, and they raised over $125,000 through the sale of this watch. In fact, yours truly, when he had this watch and an opportunity to sell it, marketed it on eBay, and rather than posting an ask price, I posted the watch with a $1 million minimum bid. Of course, never expecting that anyone would pay anywhere close to that. But certainly I didn't know what the market would bear on this watch. And that was a way for me to advertise the watch without actually specifying how much money I expected to buy. Of course, the forums were ablaze with threats and outrage. And the reality was I never expected to get $1 million for this watch. I only wanted to make a market for this watch without specifying exactly how much I expected to get at the initial ask. In either case, this watch is extremely special. So what's so special about this watch? Well, for starters, it features a 47mm stainless steel Luminor 1950 case. It's got the bubbled sapphire crystal, just like in the Panerai 1950, the PAM 127. It's got the sandwich dial with the cutout markers and stick markers and Arabic numbers. And this has a very special inscription, a stamp at the 3 o'clock, 8 giorni brevitato, which is 8 days, referencing the 8-day power reserve, and brevitato referencing the tribute to its Swiss heritage, to its Italian heritage. This watch features 18 karat yellow gold hands and yellow gold seconds indicator at 9 o'clock. The sub-seconds dial is at 9 o'clock. So what makes this watch so special is that at the time of its release, and even up to about 3 years ago, it was the only 47mm stainless steel Luminor 1950 other than the PAM 127 and the PAM 217. Now, there have been later releases of 47mm Luminor 1950 watches, although there has never been one that's been powered by the original Angelus 8 days power reserve, which is really what makes this watch so special. So if we look at the case back, this is the original 1950s era new old stock Angelus 8 days power reserve manual winding movement. This watch was able to be purchased by Panerai in only 150 pieces, and they put it in this watch and chose to power this watch with this movement because at one point Angelus was the featured movement in the vintage Panerai watches. This, in fact, is that very same movement that was in the Luminor 1950 for Panerai in 1950. It's an Angelus 8 days power reserve movement. It's got an 8-day power reserve. It's manual winding and has an isochronism micro adjustment. As you can see, it's very sparsely but very elegantly finished. It's got some very light striping. I'm not sure if you'd consider it Geneva striping, but it's just a very nice, clean, almost vintage looking, like a pocket watch movement, because essentially that's what this was a pocket watch movement. So this watch featured a unique exclusive strap. It wasn't the original 1950 strap that was on the 127. In fact, this strap had a little more orange hue to it, whereas the 1950 127 strap had a little more beigeish hue. Also, that strap was more of a distressed leather, whereas this is more of a smoother leather. So it's a unique color, exclusive to this watch. This strap was only available on this watch, and it also comes with another interchangeable strap. Of course, this watch also comes with the stainless steel Pre-Vendome, oversized Pre-Vendome tang buckle in the Pre-Vendome, what we call bottle opener style. So, as a PAM 203, this watch comes with one of the largest presentation box sets ever made by Panerai. In fact, the box is so big, I think the average shipping cost on that box set is around $300, and I think the weight is close to 50 pounds. But beyond the weight, the box is massive. It comes with a special booklet detailing what makes the PAM 203 and this movement so special. Talks about the history of the movement, the history of the Angelus movement, and everything that went into the making of this very limited and special watch. It also comes with the interchangeable strap and screwdriver, and it also comes with one of the Panerai Historia books. But it happens to be a massive And I'm talking larger than your regular special edition box sets. That thing is massive. It's probably double the size of the original special edition box set. And it's the largest special edition box set that was ever made for a Panerai, at least to my knowledge. So it features the tobacco dial. It's not a black dial, rather. It is a tobacco dial. And again, what makes this watch so special? Well, there was only 150 pieces, and in owning this watch, you're joining the ranks of a very limited number of very special, very privileged people who own a really special piece of Panerai history. There has never been a watch in the history of Panerai that fetched the kind of premiums over retail as this watch did in its heyday and even after the fact. There's never been another subscription watch that hit the market with such demand, with such force and such impact as this watch when it was first released. There were guys that were willing to trade cars and homes to own this watch. That's how crazy the demand was. And the reality was, nobody really was interested in selling it. It wasn't like anyone who bought it directly from Panerai paid a lot of money for it. Most of those guys didn't need the money. And moreover, they were certainly concerned about conserving their relationship with Panerai. And so as a result, most of the guys that own these watches, the original owners, tucked these watches away, and they're still holding on to them to this day. That's why, like I said, it's uncommon for them to be too available at any given time. And like I said, over the past 10 years, there have probably been less than 10 PAM 203s available in the open market. They don't typically get sold at auction because the auctions reveal the serial numbers and edition numbers. And by doing that, the original owner would be outed by Panerai, and rest assured someone would take note of who the original owner of that watch was and either make a phone call or make sure that person knew they were now persona non grata as far as Panerai was concerned. So this is literally a trophy. This is a watch that only 149 other people have had the pleasure of owning and wearing, and most of the time you'll rarely ever see one of these on someone's wrist. We've got the privilege of bringing this watch to you. This watch can be viewed at our offices in Hollywood if you're local. And of course, please make sure to check out our high-resolution photos of this watch on our website. There's not many of these around, and it's guaranteed not to last very long. So if you're looking for a real piece of Panerai history, if you're looking for a trophy, and you're not looking to pay that $100,000 price tags these watches at one time fetched, now is the right time to buy this watch. So if you like our videos, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. As well, check out our watches on our website at watchyouwant.com. As always, thank you so very much for your time today, and wear your watches in the best of health. Have a great day and take care. This is OJ Whatley from Watch You Want, signing off.